No doubt about it. The human being has been created haluu'. Haluu' means someone who doesn't have patience, qillatu sabr, and he's has no control over his temptations. The actual word, the opposite of sabr in Arabic is al-jaz'. Jaz' means not being patient, complaining about everything. Haluu' is a step further. Haluu' is not only are you not patient, it's actually whenever a temptation comes in front of you, you immediately rush towards it. You don't think twice about it. You are the ideal consumer. You're the marketer's dream. You see a product, you buy it. Shopaholic. You're the one that they want to in their store or on their website because they know you'll just take it. You'll consume and consume and consume without consideration. This is haluu'. The human being was created quick to consume without consideration, without halting himself. إِذَا مَسَّهُ الشَّرُّ جَزُوعًا. When harm comes to him, he loses patience entirely. So first you're quick to consume, but when the harm comes as a consequence, if you're so quick to consume and don't consider what you're taking in, what deeds you're engaged in, obviously there are going to be consequences, and the first consequence is some harm will come your way. When harm comes his way, he loses patience altogether. Why is this happening to me? I deserve khayru. And when the good comes to him, manu'a, he's extremely preventative of others of getting it. So something good comes to you, you think, how do I not let others know that I have this? Because they might want to share in it. I don't want to share this with anybody. I want to hold on to it for all by myself. This is actually the example, the case study of this we already learned. Remember the farmers? Who the next morning they were going to go cut their crop? Don't let any poor people find you. Because we might have to give them then. إِذَا مَسَّهُ الْخَيْرُ مَنُوعًا إِلَّا الْمُصَلِّينَ. Except the people of salat. People who pray. Allah is saying these bad personality disorders, these moral dilemmas, are addressed by what? By salat. The question is though, how come they're not addressed by my salat and yours? Must be something missing in our salat. Because if it really was salat, then greed, selfishness, it addresses those things. Allah says, for example, إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ تَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنْكَرِ. You hear this in every khutbah. No doubt about it, salat prayer prevents from shamelessness. It fights against shamelessness. And all forms of, meaning their fundamental prayers, their essential prayers, Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, those, the essential prayer, they're constant. They are constant. They're disciplined. With those, they don't dilly-dally with those prayers. And if that discipline isn't there in their life, then of course there is room for other salawat. But the minimal requirement, and the minimal cleansing for a believer, الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَاتِهِمْ دَائِمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ. And those who in their assets, in their monies, there is a known right. We went straight from prayer to giving. Don't use. Allah started the passage with greed. Haluu', jazuu'. Shar happens to him, he loses sabr. Then he says, come to salat first. And once you come out of salat, then you will learn the real purpose in your life, and you won't be as clingy with your money anymore. If you're a really person of reflection, then you'll realize that you're going to be gone from here. So you'll make the right investments. And you'll realize that there's rights in the money you've earned to give to others. Salat itself, that it doesn't matter what passage of Quran you recite, it'll remind you that you're going to leave here. There's bigger problems. So you start thinking of the rights of others. لِسَائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. For the one who comes out and asks, and the one that's deprived. Two categories of people. There's somebody who physically comes and embarrasses himself and herself and asks you. They lost a job, they can't pay the bills, the electricity's gone, husband went away or something, or passed away or something, and they can't help themselves, and it's humiliating to them, but they make a call and say, can I borrow some money, can I have some money? I would really appreciate it. And it really, it hurts the dignity of a human being to want to have to ask. Right? To be put in that position, may Allah keep us all from being in that position. It's a very embarrassing and humiliating position to be in. But if somebody did bring themselves to ask, then don't make them ask again. Don't make them ask again. I'm not talking about the professional beggars that are like pros. The other night I was walking with some students and there was a guy with a pack of cigarettes in his hand, like, yo bro, got a couple of dollars for some money? I was like, man, you bought an expensive pack of cigarettes, bro. What do you need, food for? Seriously. For some it's an industry. That's a different story. I'm not talking about that. But in our community, there are people who will ask. They're going to ask. And then there's al-mahrum. Al-mahrum is the one that's deprived. The one that doesn't have. We saw, when the gardeners got to their garden and everything was gone, they said, "Bal nahnu mahrumun." We're completely deprived. We have nothing left. We're bankrupted. Now, the question that, from tadabbur, the question that lies behind this ayah is, how will you know about the sa'il? And how will you know about especially about the mahrum? Because the mahrum doesn't ask. But you have a right in your wealth for the mahrum, which means they won't ask, you'll have to go and ask them. You have to be in touch with people around you. You have to know what's going on in your block. You have to know what's going on among your cousins, among your family. We have this concept, this artificial concept of community sometimes, where people come and pray together at a masjid, and they leave. They say salam to each other, maybe the guys play a little bit. We don't know each other's families. We don't know our problems. We don't know if somebody has trouble. We're not close enough that somebody would be comfortable in saying, brother, I have an issue in my family. I need some help. We don't have those relationships. And when somebody does come and ask, we don't know if they're genuine or not because we don't have genuine relationships. That doesn't exist. Behind this ayah is actually a sense of community. You can't establish this until there's a sense of community. And a sense of care for extended family. It starts with family and then everybody else. You have a cousin who's those who confirm the truth in the day of ultimate judgment. Meaning these two things are proof. Salat, and then sadaqah are proof. Salat because you gave up time. You give up time to make salat. And time is an asset. Time is sometimes more valuable than money. And then of course the next major asset we have is our money. You're willing to give both of them up because you know of a much better time and a much better wealth that is coming your way. That's a confirmation that you believe in it. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ مِنْ عَذَابِ رَبِّهِمْ مُشْفِقُونَ. And those who, especially when it comes to the punishment of their master, from it they are terrified and they are also really afraid for their loved ones. Ishfaq actually has love in it too. Urdu speakers use shafqat, right? It comes from the same word. Ashfaqa ala actually means I'm afraid for my children. They're afraid of the punishment of their master, but not just for themselves, from others also. Because the word by definition is muta'addi, it's transitive, so it implies for others. They fear of akhirah for themselves and for others. Inna adhab rabbihim. Actually, I should mention this is an important concept. Allah instills in us the importance of giving to others, right, in this passage. Which means you care about others. You care about others that are having trouble. But if you care about them in dunya, why wouldn't you care about them in akhirah? Like if you're worried that they're going to starve here, why wouldn't it worry you that they're going to burn in the akhirah? So your own salvation terrifies you, and their salvation terrifies you too, it worries you too. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ مِنْ عَذَابِ رَبِّهِمْ مُشْفِقُونَ إِنَّ عَذَابَ رَبِّهِمْ غَيْرَ مَأْمُونَ. And no doubt the punishment of their master is not something that anybody can be safe from.